Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. Ooh-wee. The Celtics and Warriors are knotted up at 2 games apiece. Oh, my. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, the finals is really getting good. Hopefully we'll have some great games coming up. The best of 3. Who's going to win?
The best of 3. The tension is on there. I could, as they say, now's the time to rise and shine because somebody going to have to step up. Somebody, I put it like this. Curry ain't going to score, 43 points every game. That ain't happening. So somebody on the Warriors got to step up, and then somebody on the Celtics got to step up. So, it's going to be a matter of who will be that key player who come through in the clutch. Who going to do it? Because they're starting to tighten up, First Lady.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
I think the only thing that was almost as enjoyable as watching them Celtics and Warriors was watching Ivanka Trump not lie for her daddy. That was almost as much fun. And I'm like, now First Lady, you're a parent. I'm not a parent. But I got a mama and daddy.
Right.
And it's like, mama and daddy do not teach you to lie, even for them. They don't teach you that. Son, daughter, you better lie for me.
Yeah, he taught her right.
They'll usually teach you that. Now, you might kind of get the hint that, maybe I need to lie for mom and daddy so that I'll get my ass whooped, but, or say nothing, disappear, but, they don't teach you that kind of stuff. So I'm sitting up here looking, I'm going, man, talk about throw your daddy under the bus, And then I don't think Jared Kushner going to get invited to any family dinners. So I think son-in-law done got excommunicated.
Yes. Well, they had some trouble when they left. So, obviously something happened between their relationship. So there were rumors.
Yeah, that's because Jared saw the writing on the wall, and he said, "I'm gonna be the first rat to jump this sinking ship." Let me go over here and make these deals on the taxpayers' dime. Where there's that old saying, "Money begets more money," and for those of y'all who, been working your butts off trying to, maybe get your business going or get build a nest egg and, and have some, savings and stuff, and and you're like, man, and you're smart and you're working hard and stuff, you look at some of these folks who really wealthy, they're as dumb as rocks, but they were lucky. I'm not going to say blessed. Some, there are those lucky that they had a rich parent who wasn't all that smart either. Because it's like, once you got enough money, you could do dumb things to make more money.
Right.
Now, I know me, I do a dumb thing with my money. I'm in a deep hole somewhere. It ain't like, oh, well, you did this dumb thing. Let's give you some more money, I file bankruptcy. It's like a bad thing. They file bankrupt. It's a bad job. Well, I ain't paying that bill. I'm like, whoa. And then they give you some more money.
No. They switched the rules when we started filing bankruptcy.
They
were filing bankruptcy. They could do it, but all of a sudden, when normal people started filing bankruptcy, no, you can't do that. They switched the rules.
All right, First Lady, check out. But I can't wait to see the rest of the years. I'm sitting up here looking. Ex-Attorney General Bill Barr. He's an asshole. Okay, yes, he is. But really, he's one of them guys that you got that buddy who got that how they say that sarcastic humor. And he really does. You know, you listen to him and you be going, oh, my God. I frankly kind of told him it was bullshit. You go, oh.
Right.
All right, check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Sophia, Bromberg, plus Torrez Sounds. Where they find that shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world, not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie, known as Deshaun Watson, wishes he could fly far, far, far away from his 24th lawsuit alleging sexual assault. In the new suit, Katie Williams, the plaintiff, identified by name, who owned and operated a massage therapy business in Houston, alleges she was sexually assaulted in the second of two massage sessions with Watson in August 2020. Williams is coming forward now. After reading Deshaun Watson proclaimed he has no regrets and that he has done nothing wrong. The NFL has declined to comment. Is that a smart move? Should the Browns start to get worried about their franchise sex offender? Oops, I meant quarterback. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, the NFL and actually Roger Goodell already made a comment about the Deshaun Watson situation. They haven't made a comment since the latest person came out. But Roger Goodell had spoke to the media during the annual owners meeting, and he addressed the Deshaun Watson's playing status, because I think the question was asked, what's going to happen with him playing? And so let me quote what Roger Goodell said. He said, we've been very clear with every club, whether the criminal matter gets resolved or not, that the personal conduct policy is very important to us. They understand that's something we're going to pursue. So let's be honest with this. That's that personnel conduct policy. So I'm not sure why the NFL hasn't provided a decision regarding Watson. I mean, from my understanding, I think they have been reported that the NFL has already spoken to him. I think it was either last week or the week before last. So to me, they've already spoken to Watson. So they should have been investigating this all along. I don't understand why they waited. I think why they waited was after the criminal case was over. And that's the reason why they waited to speak to Watson. So I believe a decision should be forthcoming. Under the new bargaining agreement, the Don Goodell doesn't make any decision. I don't know if people remember that. Roger Goodell was the decision maker, but not anymore. I believe it's a panel of experts now that will rule on the conduct policy. Now, the conduct policy, for people who are not familiar with this was a policy that was created back when, if I'm not saying after the Ray Rice and all the other sexual assault issues and domestic violence, so the NFL came up with a new policy. And one of the excerpts from that policy says, depending on the nature of the violation and the person's record, discipline may be a fine, suspension, community service, or a combination of the three. Violations involving assault, battery, domestic violence, or sexual assault will result in a baseline 6-game suspension without pay, with more if aggravating factors are present, such as the use of a weapon or a crime against a child. So I believe the Browns aren't worried, because I'm going to tell you why they're not worried, because they have to believe, people in that organization had to believe that Deshaun Watson will face a suspension. Now, the suspension, And you could say he's getting 6 games automatically based off of that policy. He's going to get 6 games. Now, could he get more? So to me, the only concern the Browns have is the length of his suspension. And like I said, he's going to get 6 games. Now, if he gets more than 6 games, get a year, it depends. It depends on what the NFL found out. But I can guarantee you, with 22 women coming out, 24 women coming out, there's no way that the NFL can rule in Deshaun Watson's favor. Now, the New York Times put out a report to me that didn't help his cause any, because he had sought 66 masseuses in a 17-month time frame. Now, people may look at that and say, well, that ain't that many, but no, that's a lot, because many former NFL players who are in the media have spoken out and stated that Watson's behavior is highly unusual. Most athletes says when they find a great masseuse, they stick with them. They're not searching for more, but this man had 66 different masseuses. That's a lot of people that you are going to. So why are you going to that many people? And I said it to you, Spitface, on numerous times. Initially when this story came out, we wanted to believe Deshaun Watson because he really never had any blemish on his career regarding his character. He was always a religious man. Matter of fact, before these reports came out, when they had, remember when the reports first came out, but the year that they had the Super Bowl, they have a gospel fraction of the NFL. They put on a gospel performance and everything. He was given an award for his for being that a great guy, and let's just put it, they gave him an award. And then all of a sudden, all these rumors came out about him. But it's clear to me, I'm going to say it. I hate to say it, but it's clear to me Deshaun Watson has a fetish. He acts like a sexual deviant to me. It's something about him getting massages. It's obviously he's looking at these massages as a way to sexually appease him or something. I mean, all these women cannot be lying, Spitface. All of them can't be lying. And then Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, he made such a stupid comment. Sometimes when you have your lawyers making stupid comments, it's like you want them to put their foot in their mouth, because he had the nerve to go on a radio station in Houston and say, quote, happy endings are not a crime. And a happy ending is a consensual happy ending. I mean, what the hell? I believe the whole time, wasn't Watson saying that he was denying any sexually thing happening with these ladies? And all of a sudden his lawyer's going to go talk about happy endings.
Did you say his lawyer was Rudy Giuliani? Oh, Rusty Hard.
No, Rusty Hard, not Rudy Giuliani, Rusty Hard. But this story, bad. This story has more twists and turns, and hopefully it's ending soon, because I know everybody is about tired talking about it. But it's actually more people are going to talk about it, because as the football season comes upon us, they already been there doing the mandatory OTAs now. So, Watson attended the mandatory OTAs, but the NFL, look, you talking about the Shield. So you got to do something, and I can't see Deshaun Watson getting less than 6 games. All right, Spitface, what are you talking about?
I'm looking at him, and then I go to the Major League Baseball. They have set the standard that in these cases, we do not care what the civil trial do, the criminal. We don't care what even the police. Well, we don't hear that nonsense. Okay, because if we look at more than likely, you put yourself in that situation, we are going to suspend you severely. For the NFL not to suspend him for at least 2 seasons, and I know, whoa, that's like I get the young man's career. Well, now he ain't so young. He done, I'm starting to see he might have a little gray hair going at the moment. But it would be different if there was some, a modicum of, maybe, I went too far in what was appropriate, just something. But the arrogant level of, I'm a big time NFL quarterback. I got my skills are just so good that, hey, a team will pay me $50-60 million. They don't care about, it just, the moral stain would just be at a new level. And the NFL, and it's good that there's a panel, because a panel saying 2-year suspension is actually a lot stronger than an individual. Because then the panel looked and said, man, look, 24, and that's the ones who said, no, I am going to file a lawsuit. So we know that there were others. We don't even have to play around. We know that there are others. Now, we may not want to do things because that could impact the civil suits against you. But then we got to look at, hey, this is called protect the shield. It is not protecting the shield to try to protect, to give a player, I put it like this, give a player, just something that will help the team. Okay, yeah, he got suspended, but he'll ride past that and then come on, start to play. Like none of that happened. No. I love his talents, but like they say, hey, the behavior. It's the behavior. Yeah, your talents are great, man. I love what you're doing but my entertainment isn't so important that it's okay for you to abuse these women so that I can be entertained. We got to put it in perspective. Football is entertainment. And it's a great. I love football. It's great entertainment. Does not mean that that's an excuse to not look squarely at what's going on and do what's right. And at a minimum, and to just send a no nonsense, this is it, no BS, 2-year suspension. It's just too much. If it was a couple, that would be too much. But I could get, you don't want to go, okay, hey, look, hey, it happened. We think it happened a couple of times, and it was wrong, and this is an appropriate punishment. But when you're talking about 24, 60, and who knows, 66, out of that 66, that's when you go, it's wrong. And it would be to the detriment of the NFL not to give him a severe punishment. Not a suspension, losing 6 games, and you making 40, whatever he making per year. Yeah, he missed that money, but he getting the money. No, you got to go, no, And we want every person in the NFL, from the GM to the assistant to the assistant, special teams coach, trainer, whatever you call it, to get the message. We are not messing around. So Browns, I'm going to tell you, I do not think that Deshaun Watson will be playing for the Cleveland Browns this season. Period. At least for this season. Because to come out with anything less is just a farce. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Well, I mean, Spitface, I don't see why you think the NFL is going to suspend him for at least you said 2 years, right? I
didn't say they would. I said that's what they should.
Oh, well, everybody should, yeah. But I mean, I'm sitting here looking at what the suspensions have been for players, and can you imagine that the most? Okay, obviously, you remember Ray Caruth. I'm actually looking since Roger Goodell has been the commissioner since 2006. since 2010. I think Ray Caruth happened before Roger Goodell was the commissioner. And the most games that somebody was suspended, like they had Michael Vick. He was suspended indefinitely for dogs. Now, you know what? I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm just sitting here laughing because when you see what these players were suspended for, like, for example, one guy committed manslaughter, and he only got 10 games for manslaughter.
But see, it wasn't multiple manslaughters.
No. Okay, remember Dante Stallworth, he missed the entire 2009 season because he was DUI, he crashed and killed someone. You remember, let's see, I'm just going through this, the conduct of Ben Roethlisberger. You remember Ben Roethlisberger had a lot of women said that it wasn't as much as Deshaun Watson, but I forgot how many women said that Ben Roethlisberger sexually assaulted them. It was more than one woman. I do remember that. He received 6 games, and it got reduced to 4 games. So, I mean, that's very wishful thinking to think that he's going to
remember, I didn't say I wish.
I know. You said 2 years.
That is
and
what
to be honest
they
with you,
should do.
I don't think he should get 2 years. And I'm just saying 2 years is a little bit harsh. And the reason why I'm saying 2 years is because now the baseball player, you know, he actually, I don't want to get so sexually involved, but it was a penetration type of situation. With Deshaun Watson, it wasn't that. It wasn't of that nature. So you got to look at the nature of the sexual abuse. Not all sexual abuse are the same. So, I mean, we have to consider that into his suspension. So that's why I mean, as a woman, I feel that he has definitely violated some of these women, but I don't think he should get a 2-year suspension. I think that's a little bit harsh, especially since it wasn't, you know, the criminal justice system said he didn't do that. It was not enough for them to bring criminal charges, but he did something. So I don't think he's going to get definitely a year. I think he's probably going to get I say he may get more than 6 games. So I mean it's 17 games in a season now. So he probably will get, I would say 8 to 8 games. That's what I'm going to say. I'm thinking he's going to get 8 games suspension. So, but you need to, I mean, you go to Wikipedia and look at that list. I mean, that list is, I mean, they actually gave somebody who fixed games more suspension than people who did sexual and domestic violence. So that's the whole thing about the NFL. They care more about their shield and the protection of their game. So when you do something violation of that impacts the play on the field, they view that as a harder punishment than doing against a woman or even killing somebody, to be honest with you. So that's that conduct policy. But again, it's not in the Don's hands anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how this panel decides Deshaun Watson's fate. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We are talking about the knockout punch to the Tampa Bay Rays new training complex by Governor wannabe Trump DeSantis. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis blocked state funding for a new Tampa Bay Rays training facility, partly because the baseball team spoke out against gun violence in the wake of back-to-back gun-related massacres in Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York. A source familiar with the internal conversations told CNN. DeSantis used his line item veto powers to eliminate $35 million for a sports training and youth tournament complex in Pasco County in the Tampa Bay area, which local officials hope could serve as the new player development facility for the Rays. He said he eliminated the funding because I don't support giving taxpayer dollars to professional sports stadiums. Should Major League Baseball consider getting out of Florida and going somewhere more accommodating to business? Does Florida have a worse governor than Texas? Leroy Satchel Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and James School Papa Bell are asking what you say. You know, First Lady, the thing about Governor Ron DeSantis is that, one, he a mini-me. He a Donald Trump mini-me. So we got that. He a Donald Trump mini-me. And then the other thing is, I didn't know that we had states in the Union that were, they top political leaders were dictators. I didn't know that. I'm looking at, 50 states, and they got governors, and, Texas got one. We one of them states where we have weak governors. The governor in the state of Texas can say a lot of stuff, but can't really do a lot of stuff. But they can, it's like he has the bully pulpit for the state, but doesn't really have a lot of power other than, he got veto. It's that lieutenant governor that can do stuff. Now, Florida got it different. The governor just do what the hell he want to do. Break the law, ignore, I'm like, man. And that COVID program, erased to death. I'm going, man. But I know Major League Baseball is not going to pull out of Florida. They're not going to do that. But this man will hurt his own state, his own citizens, so that he think somebody gonna vote for his ass as president. He think that, given the record he really got. And so, like Disney, he basically said, look, I'm going to tell you, if you don't toe my line, whatever I can do to punish your business, I'm going to do it. So it's not just the sports team. It's he letting it be known to everybody. If you don't do what I like, I'm going to find something we doing for you and take it away. Or somewhere where I can put a thumb in your eye. And now, one thing, being a mini-me Trump, vindictiveness is high on the list. You got to show you're vindictive. So, First Lady, we could probably get in a debate for hours. Who has the worst governor, Florida or Texas? I'm going to go, we got the dumbest governor between the two states, because we sure know that Abbott ain't the brightest, So we got the dumbest, but I kind of had to go he the worst because he acting like a dictator. First Lady, what you saying?
I don't think the Devil, well, as a matter of fact, you're right. The Devil Rays were not going to move out of Florida, and I don't think any team should move out of Florida. But, it's not unusual for state government to push back financing sports arenas. I mean, in South Florida, the Dolphin Stadium was 90% privately financed, and they had made millions of dollars of renovations, and that was 100% financed by the owner, Stephen Ross. Now, on the other hand, the Miami Heat, they play in FTX Arena, and they don't pay 1 cent to use the arena. And many of the politicians were very upset. The current ones were very upset with the other politicians that made that deal with the Heat years ago when they built that arena. And, they're really upset. They're waiting for, I guess, that current contract to expire. And I got to double check, because I think it's a lifetime contract, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, and there was another situation. I don't know if you remember when Sacramento, California, when they was feuding with the Kings, because the owners of the Kings at the time wanted the city to finance their stadium, and the Kings threatened to relocate. The owners of the Kings threatened to relocate. And finally, it was eventually the city succumbed to the pressures and funded the arena. See, the only concern for me with DeSantis, like you said, he is the mini-me of Donald Trump, is that he seems to penalize entities when they disagree with his political positions. Remember, he penalized Disney for their statements regarding the Don't Say bill, the Don't Say Gay bill, and when they spoke out about that, that's when he took whatever that funding that the tax write-off that they were getting. Now the people who live in that area got to foot that bill, and then now he's vetoing this bill that I believe it was approved in 2014 to allocate the funds to finance the sport venues. So, like you said, DeSantis has become a tyrant with these decisions. And again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with state government moving towards more privately funding arenas. However, it makes it to me, it's sad, like you said, that DeSantis is making things a personal vendetta. And that's some of the problems with Ron DeSantis. And hopefully he'll be gone. I pray.
Y'all got term limits?
Yeah, we got term limits. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think we vote for governor this year. In the I gotta double check that. I'll double check before the end of the show. But we do vote. I think he's up for re-election. Yeah, he's up for re-election this year. Through the midterms. Florida governorship is up for re-election. I know Charlie Crist is running against him. Charlie Crist ran against Rick Scott and lost. And that was like 8 years ago. It was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, and we all know.
I wish the Democratic Party of Florida would stop putting up old, washed-out ex-Republican candidates as Democrats.
Well, he switched over to Denver. He's true. Let me tell you something about Charlie Crist. One thing I have to say about Charlie Crist, when Charlie Crist was the governor, he was a Republican. He was one of the few Republicans to take the stimulus to build roads. You remember when President Obama was in office? President Obama had federal funding for states to use to build and repair a lot of their roads. A lot of the Republican governors did not take that stimulus, but Charlie Crist was one of the few governors that took that stimulus. And if you can see all the different roads that Florida and South Florida has right now, that's because of Charlie Crist. So I'm not going to say anything about Charlie Crist because he did quite well being the governor. And because in Florida, in South Florida, we only had like 2 major highways. So now they decided they need to go up, and we got a lot of loops and whatever, like how it is in Houston and Dallas. They got a lot of loops in Houston and Dallas. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to this Ron DeSantis thing. So, you know what, Spitface? It is difficult to compare Ron DeSantis to Greg Abbott or vice versa because to me, both of them are terrible governors. That's the only thing we can say. They are both horrible, and both communities wish they were not governors. And Greg Abbott, I know after this recent situation, the stupidity that he displayed regarding the shooting at that elementary school and the things that he was saying in that press conference, I mean, people in Texas, if you don't get that man out of office, I don't know what is wrong with you, okay? I don't know what's wrong with you, but he's dangerous. I mean, both of them are dangerous, to be honest with you. But anyway, all right, Smithy, that's all I'm saying.
What's wrong with them is that they white and racist. All right. Okay, First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Sophia Bromberg on Shout Out Part 1.
The music rolls in from around the globe. They get a shout-out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Sophia Bromberg.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout-out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring Sophia Bromberg out of San Francisco. Sophia Bromberg may be a name you've quickly becoming familiar with. She recently wrapped up season 21 of NBC's The Voice, Team Ariana. All right, DJ. Unfortunately, I didn't see The Voice this year. But anyway, because let's hear Lately.
I've been thinking about you lately. You never even call me baby. I just can't get enough. It's a dream, I can't wake up. You're gonna break me. Please don't let me down. Got me spinning around day and round now. My hands are reaching high. Your head's up in the sky. Lately, you don't call me. You don't need me. It's like you don't see me now. Lately, you don't call me. You don't need me. Or maybe 'cause it is. I've been sleeping barely, baby. It's not a dream no more, don't hate me. Never been in your side. Yeah. In the dark you keep the light on. You're gonna break me. Please don't let me down. Got me spinning around day and round now. My hands are reaching high. Your head's up in the sky. Oh no, yeah. Lately, you don't call me. You don't need me. It's like you don't see me now. Lately, you don't call me. You don't need me. Or maybe 'cause it is. Why do we meet up on the weekend? We can be real, not just pretend. Come me. Oh, I'm going crazy, but lately, you don't call me. You don't need me. It's like you don't see me now. I'm going crazy, but lately, you don't call me. You don't need me. Maybe 'cause it is.
Okay, that's Sophia Bromberg. I'm going to shout it out. She has that, oh my gosh, she has that voice of, I can't think of her name right now. She played Billie Holiday in the most recent Billie Holiday movie. I can't think of her name. I'm sorry, but anyway, I'm having a little brain fart right here. But I enjoyed it. It was good. She obviously knows what she's doing if she was able to win The Voice. But definitely different, unique voice. But she does sound like this. I'm gonna get her name before I leave. But anyway. So I'm shouting it out lately. I'm shouting out. You shouting that out?
I'm shouting it out lately, and I think she's 17.
What do you mean 17?
Years old.
Oh, is she? She's that young. Wow.
Yeah. You know, so I'm like,
she sounds like an old lady to me.
Well,
I mean her voice, you know, mature.
Well, you know that might. I think she would get where you're coming from.
You know, she has she has a mature voice.
Oh, and, yeah. You know, I put it like this, right? She has a mature voice for her.
Andra Day. Andra Day. That's who she sounds like to me. She got that Andra Day vibe going on.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm giving her a shout out, First Lady. I wish her well.
All right. Okay. Well, if you like what you heard from Sophia, you can check her out at Sophia Bromberg. That's SOPHIABROMBERG.com. On part 2 of Shout Out, we'll have a performance from Torrez Sounds. Speaking of sound, is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
They call him Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
All right. It's time for Flip It, where I host defend the view and flip the script and defend the opposing view. And what's that? What's that, Flipper? Oh. First Lady, Flipper say that if DeSantis and Greg Abbott were tuna, he'd throw them back. Okay, who has to? He throw them back, dog. You know,
I don't blame Flipper.
I said, no, take them back. All right. Okay. Who has the better chance of winning the Finals MVP? Steph Curry or Jason Tatum? Defend. Steph Curry is a first-round Hall of Famer. He only needs the MVP to put the cherry on top. He will win the MVP. First Lady, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at Steph, and I'm going, you playing pretty good. You know, the Warriors are winning because of Steph Curry. And, you know, others are contributing, you know, but really, he is, you know, there was the era when they had when they had the tall guy Durant, and he was, you know, looking, you know, pretty much like, hey, I'm taking the team. But Steph has rebounded like he done went, well, I'm still here, and, you know, hey, I had to deal with a couple of injuries, whatever, but it's time to shine, and he has stepped up his game. That 43 points was no joke. He got it on. Plus, you know, he was a little hurt from Game 3. So the Warriors win, he gets the MVP. And I don't see anyone on the team who, you know, could you know, is going to suddenly take that away from him. He has got it. First Lady, what you saying?
Well, you know, this is a situation. If you remember, Jerry West is the only player to win the MVP after losing the finals. And many people actually thought LeBron James should have won the Finals MVP when the Warriors and Steph Curry Steph Curry won his first championship in 2015. LeBron clearly was the best player on the court. Well, let's go to this year's Finals. Steph Curry is the best player on the court for the 2022 Finals. It isn't even close. However, for him to win the MVP, could history repeat itself? Would he win it if the Warriors lose? I mean, his brilliant performance in Game 4 moved him a lot closer to the coveted MVP award that he really wants. You can tell that this man really wants this MVP because he really wants to shut up all his naysayers. But and Steph has really put the Warriors on his back, and basically he has won all the games for them. I mean, I think in one game Clay had a great game, but it really is about Steph Curry right now. He really hasn't had much help being like on a solo mission, to be honest with you. But the question will be, if the Warriors don't win, should Steph still be the MVP? As far as I'm concerned, yes. I think we need to have a repeat because, to be honest with you, Faith, there really isn't any other standout because Jason Tatum has been good, but he hasn't been great. I mean, if the Celtics win, he'll win by default. But really, the best player who has really demonstrated why he is the MVP has been Stephen Curry. He deserves to win that MVP regardless if the Warriors win or lose.
All right. Well, okay. I heard that First Lady Steph, but this is flipped where we flip the script. The Celtics win, and Jason Tatum is in for the MVP. And I think a part of that is that there's just the default nature, as you expressed, First Lady, where given the MVP to a player whose team did not win the finals is just it's just unheard of, like you said, one time. And it's kind of I could get the logic argument that hey, if you're supposed to win if you're the MVP, but really, as you stated, this could be the exception, but the default is just too strong. And given that strong default that is going to go to a player on the team that won. Looking at the Celtics, there's just no one else other than Jason Tatum MVP too. So the Celtics win, and it's really one thing about the Celtics that they are getting heavy contribution from every. They get heavy contribution. They don't clean up them turnovers. Steph can go, if they keep turning over the ball, I'm going to by default win the MVP. So the Celtics need to do something with them darn turnovers because, man, this might have been, I won't say a cakewalk for them, but they may have swept the Celtics if they weren't just turning the ball over every time, someone, look sideways, the ball gone, So, but by default, if nothing else by default, now, Tatum could in these final 3 games, just double and make it a solid, where it's not that, you would, the Warriors couldn't pull it out, and because Draymond can't hit a shot, and you won, he's gonna need to win. He's gonna need to step up his game. First Lady, what you saying?
Well, yeah, we talk about that default for Jason Tatum to win, but Jason Tatum, he's been okay. I mean, it's not like he has been spectacular, but Jason Tatum should be the MVP because he is the star of the Celtics. Like I said, even though Tatum is not dominating like Stephen Curry has been, however, Tatum has shown when he plays well, the Celtics win. So when you look at it from that aspect, he is the Celtics MVP. And when you look at it, he didn't really have a great. He didn't have a great game scoring in Game 1, but he had 13 assists. And I always say that Tatum has a good game. The Celtics normally win. But the problem for me with Jason Tatum, he hasn't been able to string back-to-back great games together. That's why, his team really has to win to the finals for him to win that MVP, unlike Stephen Curry, who I really think has a great chance to win it if his team doesn't win it. But if you remember during the conference finals, when Jason Tatum won the MVP for the conference finals, this was like the first year they was giving out MVP trophies for the conference finals. One of the ESPN writers voted for Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler definitely was the best player in that series. And one person did vote for Jimmy Butler. It wasn't unanimously that Jason Tatum won. So I think Jason Tatum deserves the MVP because his team really needs him, and he's already demonstrated that, they don't do well without him being in some type of role, whether he's a scorer or a facilitator. So it's by default. Like we said, it's by default that if the Celtics win, Jason Tatum will get that MVP.
All right. Okay, First Lady, please take us to break. First Lady, taking us to break?
Yes, sorry. Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Yeah, Jason, you ain't defaulted the Celtics' heart.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. All right, Spitface, over to you.
All right, let's see. Interesting. Music teacher plays trombone to scare bear away from school. A British Columbia music teacher who saw a bear lurking outside the school where he works managed to drive the animal away by playing the trombone. Tristan Clausen, a music teacher at St. John's Academy in Shawnigan Lake, said he was alerted to the presence of a bear sniffing around the wooden structure that houses the trash cans outside the school. Clausen said another teacher attempted to scare the bear away by banging on the door. I thought, well, I can do better than that, and reached out for my trombone and went out, he told Peak News. A video recorded by students shows the bear becomes startled by Clausen's plan and hurriedly leave the area. He had a lot of attention in my direction, and I was figuring out what to do and decided discretion was the better part of valor. I'm trying not to take it personally. It sounds like Mr. Tristan Clausen, I got to give you some props. You went after that bear. But I'm going, how good are you at the trombone? I'm like, did you scare the bear and most humans away too? All right, guys, there the water is splashing everywhere. It must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It.
The main golf league in North America dramatically suspended 17 of its players less than 30 minutes after they teed off at a new Saudi league's inaugural tournament. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan says the golfers who defected to the brand new Live Golf Tour won't be allowed to play at PGA events for the foreseeable future. There is an old saying, money talks, and the suspended golfers are cashing in playing for the murderous Saudi-backed league. Given Saudi Arabia's thuggery, should they have turned down the money, and will it hurt them in the long run? Spitface defend.
What am I defending?
I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness. All right, Spitface defend. Ching ching. Take the money and run, worry about the future when it arrives.
You got to take the money and run, baby. Did you see how much money? That was a lot of money. That was a lot of, some of the players, the money that they're being paid, they have never made. They have never made that much money. Winning, and they never made that money. And so it's kind of hard to say don't do that. Down the road, we're talking about golf. We're talking about golf. And we're not looking at a morals clause. What they're looking at is the money. The money. The PGA has its own issues because, hey, they're trying to protect their organization because these players jump off to another league, that diminishes the PGA. And the PGA don't want that happening. Now, the impact is questionable. So these guys going, look, I can take the money and run now. I might be suspended indefinitely, but that cash I got in the bank, I'll worry about the future later. Is it going to be a forever suspension? Is it going to be for the foreseeable? Hell, I can take a year off and I'm getting paid the way they would get, the way them stacks was going. They could go, hey, look, I'm getting paid, and if I want to come back to the PGA, I done got paid. I got the money in the back. I can jump through it. I'll let the future deal with the future. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
I mean, these players are taking the money. I mean, and really, Spitface, do you blame them? The Saudi tournament includes 7 regular season events, offering a $25 million purse, with the final championship, and the final champion, which is going to be played at Trump's resort, has a $50 million purse. Now, and the thing is, players are not cut from their tournament, so every player will get paid. The winner in the $25 million tournament gets $4 million. $4 million, where the last player gets $120,000. So you just show up to the tournament, you automatically getting $120,000. And there has been reports that the Saudis have given out more than $100 million in signing bonuses. I mean, come on now. With the Saudis throwing that money around, these players will never come back to the PGA. and more than likely, they have a chance to win their cases in the court system because, let's face it, the PGA doesn't prevent golfers to play in other tournaments around the world. Players have played in the Asian tour, the Japanese tour. They played in China, Africa, and we know China's had issues with human rights. So why is the PGA blocking the Saudi tour? That's just, trying to figure out what is the real reason. Are they really concerned about human rights? Or is the PGA scared, and I mean scared, that they have to increase their prize purses to compete with the Saudis? I think that's the issue here. I mean, because they all of a sudden picked the Saudis, so why? We know they've had human rights issues. But so have some other cities and countries, and golf tournaments are in these countries, and the PGA has never said anything about that. So it makes you really, really wonder. All right, but this is Flip It. We're going to flip the script. Turning down the money would have been heroic and sent a strong message. Their standards for human rights are bigger than a paycheck. Their bank accounts may fatten, but their story will be stained. It's like playing a concert in South Africa during apartheid. Spitface defend.
Yeah, I cannot, quote, blame somebody for taking the money. Can't blame them for that. But there are times and situations where you got to look at where there can be a higher standard. And there were big concerts in South Africa where the entertainers would have made big money for back in that era, and they refused to do it. They refused to do it. Now, for some of them, they had never seen that kind of money, and they refused to do it, especially given that era. Now, the concern I see for some of the players, but the money is already in the bank. It would be different if the U.S. had a real hands-off policy towards Saudi Arabia, because you have to look at it is that, hey, can this murderer pay me off to play for them so that they can profit and look better and all of that? Do I want to be an instrument of their behavior? And is the money worth it? That's the call. Now, you're going to get a lot of voices that go, man, that look at that money. And is it, hey, we're not taking up issue with ABC. Well, we're not taking up issue with this country or whatever. Why does this one matter? And this one matters because they ain't dangling that kind of money in front of you. That's why this one is an issue. So if Russia said, I know that we're trying to commit genocide in Ukraine, but see, we got this new golf league, and we're gonna pay y'all X dollars. Come on, man, that's just another on the list. You might as well cash in while you can. It don't work that way. Well, you might jump on it. So I think for those who care, there could be a risk that they don't know that they're taking. And especially because there is a time when Saudi Arabia, with all their money and with all they've done, that things start backfiring for them. Because they've been able to get they counting that Trump might come back to the White House. I don't think so. So I go, these golfers should tread lightly. Then the other thing is PGA, they done thrown down, as they say, they done thrown the bone down. We want to take what's yours, and you gotta come up with something, or the players are gonna go, why should we? Why should we? It's a new day. Y'all have made billions of dollars, so it's time for y'all to get off your duff and step up to the plate and make it where these players go, you know what, yeah, I could go, but, with all the moral whatever, I can leave them alone because I'm going to make just as much in the PGA. Y'all got to step up and come off some of the dollars, baby. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
All right. Well, you know what? I mean, there's been some high-powered golfers that were suspended. Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, and Sergio Garcia are very well known, and it's risky to be suspended and not be able to play in a PGA tournament. I mean, playing in the tournament will hurt these not playing in the tournament will hurt these golfers, to me, in the long run, because the best golfers and the most tournaments are within the PGA circuit. And we already know that this situation is going to end up in a legal battle between the PGA and these golfers. Phil Mickelson he didn't hint to it, but he said he would not address the PGA. But these players should have some moral standards, and I mean, it's possible that they can lose some of their sponsorship. But like you said, the Saudis are trying to rebuild their image. I don't know if you remember, Spitface, back in like 2019 when the Saudis were doing all those concerts, and they was paying top dollar to a lot of these popular stars like Mariah Carey, Nicki Minaj. As I remember, Beyonce sang at a private Saudi for the Prince personally. I think she sang for the Prince personally, and she was under fire for going over to Saudi because like you said, they have such a bad record when it comes to human rights. And yeah, should the golfers take this on their shoulder? I mean, I understand them going for the money, but they need to have moral standards. They need to do what's best for the entire society. And supporting the Saudis is something that will, if you continue to support them, they're never going to change their ways. And I think that's some of the things that these golfers need to consider. And when that situation happened with the entertainers, a lot of them decided to cancel out because they came under such pressure from the American community. To be honest with you, they felt that they shouldn't participate in that type of setting, and I think they overall looked at their brand. And I think that's the difference between entertainers and golfers, because more entertainers is about their brand, and golfers, they don't care about. I mean, they do care about their brand, but they just, they're looking at that money. I mean, that's what they're looking at. Money, money, clout, make the money and run. But they really should consider the overall sacrifice that people need to make when it comes to human rights. And hopefully these golfers, well, they've already decided to take the money, but I think it's going to have a stain on their careers moving forward. And just to let you know, to be honest with you, the only one of those golfers really, when you look at the list, who was a golfer that really is still, to me, in one of the top golfers, that was Dustin Johnson, because even Phil Mickelson, he has deteriorated with his golf game. So I guess they're older golfers. You don't see the younger ones jumping ship right now, like Rory McIlroy and some of the new ones. The younger ones, you don't see them doing that, because that could be suicide on their part. So these are older golfers. Dustin Johnson, like I said, he's still very relevant, and we'll see, but I think it's a bad move on their part in the long run. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
All right, on the other side of the break, we have a performance from Torrez Sounds on Shout Out Part 2. Please stay tuned.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks, and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
We have a performance from Torrez Sounds out of Brixton, New Jersey. They say our music has been inspired from the many greats of the late 80s to the early 90s to mid-2000 hip-hop artists, but it stands out on its own. We do not sound like anything or anyone out there, so we could say our music is like a diamond in the rough. Well, let's see how this diamond does. DJ, let's hear Zing After Dark.
to get freaky. Girl, I've been drinking. I want you to take it off, take it off. Don't make me beat it up to the 12th round, baby. About to be a KO once a nigga all in. Baby, you can be my little thing after dark. All hang apart.
She do the Moscato, me I do the Remy. But whenever we link up, we decide on getting Henny. Them late night phone calls turn into getting busy. She know that I'm the man in my city. That's why she fucking with me. Girl, come up out of them Vickies and let me kiss all up on it and give you a couple hickeys. But I gotta get this cheese, so it's back to the track though. Every time I leave the keys to the back door. Yeah.
Baby, you like to get freaky. Girl, I've been drinking. I want you to take it off, take it off. Don't make me beat it up to the 12th round, baby. About to be a KO once a nigga all in. Baby, you can be my little thing after drunk. Just play your part.
Beat it up, eat it up. Any style that she wantin', I'm just heating up. I beat the poop so good I had her freezing up. She said on round 2, can you ease it up? But you was talking that ish when we left from the club. Probably cause I was black on black rolling on dub. She heard we up, you know I'm rolling with dub. You know my money good, baby, you know that we up.
Baby, you like to get freaky. Girl, I've been drinking. I want you to take it off, take it off. Don't make me beat it up to the 12th round, baby. About to be a KO once a nigga all in. Baby, you can be my little thing after dark. Just play your part.
Just getting it, been hanging with the homies. I'm chilling and feeling shorty, been sipping on that Hennessy, chasing with the Ronies. Feeling on the body, she horny, she want me cause she can't afford me. 100,000 flows, she said she want this shit recorded. I wear a helmet, my sex game retarded. Aiming for the stars, but your rain is caught it. Caution angel, we falling, I'm calling the shots, you taking them and bringing it back.
Baby, you like to get freaky. Girl, I've been drinking. I want you to take it off, take it off. Don't make me beat it up to the 12th round, baby. About to be a KO once a nigga all in. Baby, you can be my little thing after dark. Just play your part. Baby, you like to get freaky. Girl, I've been drinking. I want you to take it off, take it off. Don't make me beat it up to the 12th round, baby. About to be a KO once a nigga all in. Baby, you can be my little thing after dark. Just play your part.
All right. That was Thing After Dark. So, First Lady, I like the rhythm, the beat, some of the lyrics. I'm shouting it out, but I will say this to Torrez Sounds. They got this book. It's called Kama Sutra. And, and then they got this other book called The Joy of Sex. See, y'all need to read them instead of watching all them phony-ass porn, you know? Okay? That's all. You know, I'm just saying that way you can be a little bit more clever. Kama Sutra, Joy of Sex. Check it out. Might educate you a little bit something about it. A little something. But I'm shouting the track out. First, what you say?
You said it sounds like some teenage hickeys and You're right about that. But like you said, I did like the beat, like the rhythm. It was like you said, it was a cute little song. Could have been a little bit, like you said, a little bit more sophisticated, I think is what you're trying to say with the lyrics. You know, some of the lyrics.
Now, you know they can't spell sophisticated.
Oh my gosh! But anyway, I'm going to shout it out. That's for the young kids. That song was for the young kids, definitely. So I'm shouting it out, though.
All right. Well, that is the end of shout out. If you like what you heard from Torrez Sounds, check them out on Old Grumpy Radio Network and major outlets. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
Who will win the hardwood crown? All right, let's go over last week's results. Dizzy Mac had a minus 5 million points. I have 15 million points. And Spitface, you had 35 million points. So the totals as of today, Dizzy Mac still got a big lead, 174.5 million points. Spitface, you're next with 104.5 million points. And I'm bringing up the rear with 95.5 million points. So we only got a couple of more. Well, I guess we got maybe two. We definitely got two more games left. All right, so we got games 5 and 6. So let's get to these new picks. All right. Game 5. Who will win? Boston versus Warriors. Well, this one's a tough one. So far, no one has won 2 games in a row. And guess what? I really thought Boston had a chance to win 2 games in a row. The way they came, actually, they came out like they would have won 2 games in a row. Then things just got bad. I mean, first of all, Marcus Smart, stop shooting them darn threes. He took 18 shots last game. You are not a scorer. You don't need to take all them shots. All right, anyway. I'm going to go with Boston. Dizzy Mac has the Warriors. Spitface, who do you have?
I don't see back-to-back wins in game 5. I'm going with Boston.
Okay. All right. Game 6, they're back in Boston Garden. Dizzy Mac has Boston. Spitface, who do you have?
Boston.
So you think they're going to – I'm agreeing with you. See, I had picked before that they would have done the back-to-back. But I think this time around, if they win at the Warriors' home arena, I think Boston will put them away in Game 6. I agree with you, too, Boston. All right, let's go to some over and under scores. This is for $15 million. If you lose, minus $15 million. Boston versus Warrior, Game 5, over under 225 points. Spitface?
I'm going to go with the under.
Yeah,
Draymond Green can't hit a shot.
Yeah, I'm going with the under on this because I think it's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. Dizzy Mac has the over. Boston versus Warriors, Game 6, over under 230 points. I'm going to go with the under. I really don't think there's going to be any high scoring that's where both teams have to score at least 115 or if it's going to be a lopsided, that means one team's going to have a high score, another team's going to have a low score. So I'm going to go with the under. Dizzy Mac has the under. Spitface, what do you have?
Under.
Under. All right. Steph Curry, Game 5, over under 33 points. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface, you have?
I'm going with the under.
I am also going with the under. I don't think Steph Curry is going to have that type of game moving in Game 5. Game 6, Steph Curry, over under 28 points. Spitface.
Over.
Over. I think he's going to be over, and Dizzy Mac has also the over. Jason Tatum, Game 5, over under 30 points. I'm going with the over. He really hasn't had a game so far in the finals that he's over 30 points. I think this is the game that he will be over 30 points. Dizzy Mac has under. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm riding with the under.
You're riding with the under. All right, Game 6, Jason Tatum, over under 34 points. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface, what do you have?
Under.
This one is a tough one. See, I know he's going to get over because he ain't going to let Steph show him up with 43 points. And he don't come back and at least get 30. But Game 6, that's going to be, that 34, that's kind of high. I'm going to go with under. That's a little bit too much. You know, especially when you got Marcus Smart shooting 18 shots. Game 5 margin of victory, over under 10 points. All right, Game 5, I'm going to say, I said it was going to be a close game. I'm going to say under. Dizzy Mac has under, Spitface?
I'm going with the over.
Oh, really? I'm surprised at you on that one. Now, Game 6, I think Game 6 will be a blowout. If Boston wins Game 5, I think Game 6 will be a blowout. So I'm going to put over 15. Dizzy Mac has under. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going with the under.
You're going with the under. All right. We shall see what's going to happen with these results. Because, like I said, we are coming up to the end of the basketball season. It went kind of quickly, right? All right, so let's get to the top story of the week. All right, Spitface, what is your top story for the week?
The NBA Finals. Will it be a thriller, or we going to see another blowout?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you know what? My top stories for the week is it's surrounding the NBA, but it's more about the upcoming draft. The draft is next week. So, but if you remember, usually all the hoopla about who's going to be picked, will there be trades? And that's what I think more talk will be, the top story, about the proposed trades, because this is when the pundits start hearing these proposed trades, because usually there's always a trade when it comes to the NBA draft. And so those rumors are going to start coming out this week. So that is my top story for the week. Obviously next week it will be the draft, but the pending pre-draft rumors, that's to me what the top stories are going to be. The Oklahoma Sooners, we have to give kudos to the Oklahoma Sooners women's softball team. They have won their second consecutive national college championship. Oklahoma softball is one of the greatest dynasties in America's sports right now. They have won 5 of the last 9 national titles, and altogether they have won a total of 6 championships. That is a dynasty. When you think 5 of the last 9 titles, you know nobody talks about them because they're female in softball. And it's a shame, too, that they don't have a professional softball league. It's a shame after these women play softball. Where do they go from there? So I think we need to see if we can get a professional softball league. I used to play softball, Spitface, when I was in high school. But anyway, I like softball. All right, join us at our partners, the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center, as we honor our veteran women entrepreneurs. Please visit honorourveteranwomen.com. honorourveteranwomen.com. Check out our current and previous episodes at Panties and Sports.com and our Facebook page, BP and Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.